Hey guys, are we live? Are we live? Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me just make sure. I want to talk about this breaking news, guys. Let me just make sure the sound is okay. A second. Just make sure the sound is okay. All right, sounds like we're good. Okay, so let's talk about this, what I've got on the screen, what I've got titled here. So it seems to be quite credible news reports coming out that the dictator for North Korea, Kim Jong-Un, has been reported dead at the age of 36. Essentially, what I'm hearing is he had a heart procedure, and the heart procedure, hey, Mrs. Mead, I'm sorry, I will get to the chat. I'm trying to figure out if this is really true, but it is. We've got pretty credible news agencies starting to report this. I can tell you that for the last few days, maybe actually the last few weeks, Kim Jong-Un has not been seen in public. There has been rumors regarding his health. And as we know from previous times when he's had health issues, there were similar behaviors. He went missing, no statement, no nothing. Oh, I'll show you guys online for sure. Amazingly, this man is only 36 years old. He was handed the keys to the kingdom when he was very young, back in like 2011, after his father died, Kim Jong-il, from a heart attack. So, it's in the last several weeks, my understanding is he has been in the hospital. He has been ill with a heart condition. Apparently, they attempted to do some surgery and it did not go well. And he is being reported dead. Now, I know some of you, I want to show you what I've been researching before I came live. So I'm going to show you a few things so that you don't have to go out and go search if you don't want to. But I do want to kind of talk about this. Where does this leave North Korea if this is really true? And I have to say here, this could be crazy. Now, I'm also hearing he's in a vegetative state. So is he dead? Is he in a vegetative state? But the vegetative state rumors started, and then the New York Post, a couple other credible organizations. Yeah, I hear you on the rumor part. Are now publishing this, right? So we don't know for 100% sure, but it would be safe to say that something's not right. He did not attend the, I think it was it a 50-year or 100-year anniversary, essentially for his father or his grandfather. I think for the grandfather, he was missing, which is not usual, right? So let's, just really quick, I want to bring up what I'm seeing out here, in the world and online, and let's see if we can get any more information. Y'all know how I like to do it, we'll go from there. But when I got the news, I was like, wow, he's so young, and Donald Trump seems to like him. He seems to like all dictators, honestly. But he has formed this friendship with Kim Jong-un, Donald Trump has. And the man is not in good health. He's a big man. There's already YouTube searches. But let's see here. Let me, apparently he had some sort of heart surgery. Now, again, I'm here, I've been seeing reports, everything from vegetative, a vegetative state to being dead, essentially. So let's go ahead and let me share out my screen real quick and show you what I'm seeing, guys. Yes, I see your comments. Hold on. I see your comments. Hold on. Let me see if this will, hold on. Hold on, sweetie. Let's see here. Yes, that one. Okay. To this one. Yes, Ms. Ajib. Yes, I'm reading your comments. I see it. Let's see here. Either way, he's dead. His sister. So I haven't heard anything on the sister. Yes, it's really nice to have you guys here from Facebook. I'm streaming all over the place. Nisi, we need to fix something really quick on you. Oh, no, you're good. Okay. It's good to have you guys here on Facebook. Let's take a look at some of these comments. Let's see. Julian is saying the Don tried to sell him some kind of seat at the table for economic gain. Reagan did the same thing to red countries behind the Iron Curtain. Oh, here we go. We've got a watcher on Periscope, pumping full of disinfectant. I like that. I like that. It like everything, Ali, out of North Korea. I would suspect the rumors, there's always some truth to rumors. There's always some truth to gossip. So let's look and see what we can find right now, the latest. I will absolutely take you on your journey. Now, Ms. Job, I really like what you're saying here. Okay, so the sister would take charge, because the question does become, if he has passed away, who takes charge of North Korea? Who would take charge of it? Okay, so let's get to some of these reports. Now, this is Australian news reporting that he is in a vegetative state 48 minutes ago. Okay.
Are you over 25? Have a clean driving record?
And I'll skip this here.
You can drop your auto.
All right.
Well, developing news this morning involves the health of North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un. Sunrise foreign editor Dr. Keith Suter joins us now to discuss. Keith, good morning. There are news reports this morning from a Japanese magazine and many others, conflicting reports about whether or not the leader is still alive. Certainly we know he's in a vegetative state. What are the international implications of this?
These are very important developments because, after all, North Korea is now a nuclear power. And so that's our basic worry about North Korea. Who's going to get the nuclear weapons if the country falls into chaos? In the Western world, we have a smooth transition of power, as we see with one prime minister comes, another one goes, etc. That does not happen in a communist dictatorship. So we're going to end up possibly, if this guy is either sick or dead, going to end up with a power vacuum and a scramble for power. The assumption is that his sister, who's the de facto chief of staff for him, will take over. The military may well want to keep her in power, but we just don't know what's going to happen. It makes a very volatile situation at a time. We've got so many other worries. And don't forget, this is right on the border of China, which is our major trading partner.
Okay, his sister, Kim Yo-jong, we know she's 31. Would the North Koreans accept a woman as leader? I mean, we assume that that's more important to them to keep them in the family than to accept the fact that she's female.
Well, she's the only one that's really available who would be able to take over if you want to keep it in the family. But traditionally, you don't get women running North Korean society. But of course, in Asia, there has now been quite a change, and you do have females in leadership positions. So it's not impossible that she could become the new leader.
Keith, can I ask you about this? It can only be described as madness, I guess, this idea that doctors around the world have found themselves having to encourage people not to inject themselves with disinfectant after the comments we've seen by US President Donald Trump. Surely he can't just laugh these comments off.
That's right. Now, the problem is that he has no reputation at all for humour. He's not a Jerry Seinfeld figure. He's trying to distance himself from what he was saying the day before. His own advisors are now saying, look, this is too risky to have these long media conferences where you're just creating so many errors. They're obviously having to say this very gently, but they're really going to try to restrict the amount of media coverage they're going to give him with these daily media briefings.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it, to then turn around and just say, yes, that was being sarcastic. I think that's the greatest understatement that you've ever given us, Keith, that Donald Trump is no Jerry Seinfeld. Now, moving on, I just want to ask you about Singapore, because it was once praised for its very swift handling of coronavirus. It seems that they've got this second wave, which we've all been so concerned about. What's happening there?
Yeah, so Singapore handled the initial infection very well. It has about 1/3 migrant workers living in overcrowded conditions. And that's where this second infection has taken off. So the authorities are now having to realize that you can't keep people packed together in dormitory accommodation, about 20 to a room. They've got to find a way of social distancing. It's a warning for Australia that we shouldn't boast about how well we're doing, because the virus can still find a way of bouncing back and create problems for us.
Interestingly, that was actually one of the major problems with the Spanish flu epidemic.
So we've got that. Okay, we've got reports of him being in a vegetative state. We know something's not right. He has not been seen, and I'm sure we'll find a news clip that will discuss this, but something is not right, with Kim Jong-Un. And that's what really sucks about the news coming from North Korea, is it's slow, it's in tidbits. But I think something of this magnitude, I'm wondering when CNN and MSNBC is going to start reporting it. Matter of fact, let me now, I want to play this particular video. It's another news network. It's only 31 seconds, but then I'm going to play an additional one after that. And then we're going to look on Twitter, and I'm going to check CNN to see if there's anything at all on CNN about this. I know they've got to be on top of this right now.
Are you over 25? Have a clean driving record? No DUIs? You can drop your auto insurance.
We'll begin with breaking news, as multiple media outlets are now reporting the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un has died. The 36-year-old dictator reportedly died when a heart surgery went wrong. Because of the nature of the secret regime in North Korea, the claims of his death have been difficult to verify. It was on Monday we learned the leader was in a poor state. We know there is a family history of bad heart health, his father dying in 2011 from a heart attack. It is unclear who will now take over for North Korea.
All right. Now, could you imagine being 36, and you're the leader of a country like South Korea, and he took over in 2011? So he was in his 20s, like one of the youngest leaders ever, right? So let's check out this particular video, and let's see what we can find.
Kim Jong-Un is dead, says TMZ after a...
Now, shout out to this individual, Timcast. He's a big YouTuber, it looks like. I'd like to hear a little bit of what he has to say here.
Heart surgery. I do not believe TMZ is the bastion of truth or good reporting. No disrespect, TMZ. You're a celebrity gossip site, and I think it's very important we trust our sources on this one. But nonetheless, TMZ is a well-known outlet, and they are reporting this, and they're staking their name on this. And regardless of whether or not you trust them or don't, many people are going to believe that the story is real, because it's not just about TMZ's reporting. Reuters reported that China sent a team of doctors into North Korea. Now, there's a couple arguments. Some people no one really knows. One good argument I heard, it was from Michael Malice. You may know him on Twitter. He said maybe, I think it was Michael said this, that maybe he's just hiding because of COVID-19. It's also possible that being a morbidly obese drinker and smoker, or whatever as he does, he's extremely vulnerable to COVID. And maybe he died. Well, let's read what TMZ has to say. They report North Korea's supreme leader, dictator Kim Jong-Un, has reportedly died or is on his deathbed with no hope of recuperation, according to media outlets in China and Japan. Amid reports, China has sent a medical team to their communist neighbors this week to check in, advise on Kim, a Hong Kong-backed news channel's vice director, who is apparently, the niece of a Chinese foreign minister, blasted out the news herself. He's dead. The woman put the report on social media app called Weibo for her nearly 15 million followers to read, citing a very solid source about the claim Kim had in fact perished. A Japanese magazine reports he's in a vegetative state after a heart surgery gone wrong. The outlet reports, citing a Chinese medical expert privy to the situation, that Kim had clutched his chest in early April and fell down while visiting the countryside there. He needed a stent procedure done, but apparently it either wasn't done rapidly enough or it was botched completely by the surgeon, with some reports saying he had shaky hands. Let me ask you something. You're a heart surgeon. The supreme leader says, "Fix my heart," and one of his goons points a gun at you. I'd be willing to bet you have shaky hands, and congratulations if this is true. You done killed yourself, Kim. When you rule people with an iron fist, don't be surprised when no one respects you, no one wants to, or even can save you. That's the problem with an authoritarian garbage country. And it's a shame, too. And you know what? I think I'm allowed to say it because I have family literally from an area that is now North Korea, and I don't like what has become of the peninsula.
All right. So we appreciate his opinions and everything, but I really, really want to focus on the actual news. Now, I can tell you that right now, we're going to take it here to Google. I want to show you some things. It looks like we've even got, hold on, Kim Jong-Un. We have got Fox News reporting it, and I can guarantee you that Fox News wouldn't be reporting this if it wasn't for the president knowing it. So the fact that Fox News, he is in a vegetative state, that in the now we've got the New York, here, I'll check it here in a second, but I'm telling you right now, knowing what I know, there's no way that Fox News would report this if Donald Trump didn't know about it first. I promise you that. He has control over Fox News.
Fox News alert now. Still no word on the condition of North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un after reports that he was in grave condition following a surgery. The country's media silence sparking speculation about Kim's health and who would succeed him if he were to die. Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Palcott is following all of it from our London bureau this morning. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Sandra, that's right. The whereabouts of the condition of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un still remains quite a mystery. You'll recall a South Korean website this week claimed that 10 days ago, Chairman Kim had a heart operation. Other reports said his recovery was not all the best. One said he was in grave condition. Now, it is true during that time, he has not been seen, even missing an important holiday.
Oh, shit, y'all can't even see it. Today, hold on. I'm so sorry, guys.
The South Korean president, and they confirmed that.
My bad. Sorry about that. Let me put it on the page so you can see it. My apologies there. Okay, so like I said, Fox News to be reporting this. I just know that President Trump would have okayed this because this is a big deal. This is huge. This is a nuclear armed country. Whose hands are these nuclear weapons going to go into? Will this country change their ways? The DMZ there between North Korea and South Korea is one of the most dangerous places in the world. There's literally North Korean and South Korean guards that look and stare at each other all day long. I'm not kidding. So we'll go ahead and let this go here. If it'll play now, the sound don't want to work. Hold on.
Reports that he was in grave condition following a surgery. The country's media silence sparking speculation about Kim's health and who would succeed him if he were to die. Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Palcott is following all of it from our London bureau this morning. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Sandra, that's right. The whereabouts of the condition of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un still remains quite a mystery. You'll recall a South Korean website this week claimed that 10 days ago, Chairman Kim had a heart operation. Other reports said his recovery was not all the best. One said he was in grave condition. Now, it is true during that time, he has not been seen, even missing an important holiday in Pyongyang. Still today, I spoke with an official with the South Korean president, and they confirmed that they are not seeing anything unusual regarding Chairman Kim or North Korea for that matter. And U.S. officials are not sure either. Here is what President Trump said last night. Take a listen.
I can only say this, I wish him well, because,
wow.
if he is in the kind of condition that the reports say, that the news is saying, that would be that's a very serious condition, as you know, but I wish him well.
Now, another source says that while an operation might be plausible, him being in bad shape, well, he's highly skeptical about that. That doesn't stop more speculation, though, about a possible succession. There are more reports today that his sister, Kim Yo-jong, has been getting more political titles lately. And then, Sandra, there's the other explanation that is being discussed, that Kim Jong-un might just be sheltering at home in a villa outside of Pyongyang, away from COVID-19. It's a very important report today in the New York Times. It says coronavirus, in fact, is very bad in North Korea. Another sign that he might be working from home. North Korean state media today released a message that the chairman had allegedly sent to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Keep your distance from the facts or from COVID. We'll see what happens.
You say worry about the sister, John?
All right, Greg Palcott, thank you for that.
You've been following this since 4 a.m., Miss OJB? Wow. So that, I mean, this is a huge deal. There's like really, honestly, aside from the coronavirus, no bigger issue going on right now in the world. Honestly, we have to think about who is going to take power next. This country is a nuclear armed country. Matter of fact, let's just take a more of a look here, but I want to show you all something about North Korea here in a minute. You know, could this be the possibility of North Korea and South Korea possibly uniting in the future, dependent on who takes power in North Korea if Kim Jong-un is dead? Or will they continue to be this isolated country? I don't know if you've ever seen the maps of North Korea or the Earth during the nighttime. And whenever the satellites go over North Korea, it's completely dark. They barely have electricity. So as you know, they're saying he fell gravely ill following heart surgery. Apparently they attempted to put a stent in his heart and he went into a vegetative state. So let me just really quick, I want to take a look at this article here. And then we're going to go back to a few other things here. Okay, so, and then it makes you wonder too, to be the doctor that would have operated on Kim Jong-un and he passed away or became more gravely ill, I'm pretty sure that doctor is in a lot of fear right now. Japanese magazines are saying there's a delay, there's a simple surgery. Saying a delay in a simple surgery left Kim Jong-un in a severe condition. So maybe they waited too long to put these stents in his heart. It says mixed signals are coming in regarding the state of North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Unconfirmed reports in Japanese media claims that the Pyongyang's leader may be in a vegetative state. According to the Shikan Gendai, a Japanese magazine, during a visit to a rural area earlier in April, Kim Jong-un unexpectedly collapsed, clutching his chest. That would have been in early April, and that's around the time reports started coming out about his health. He's been missing again from the celebration I was telling you about, which celebrated the birthday. It was either of his father or his grandfather, and it was a big year. It was like the 50th or the 100th anniversary. So it was a big deal. Citing a member of a Chinese medical team in North Korea, the outlet says the North Korean leader, he was rushed to a nearby hospital with help from Beijing. Kim Jong-un reportedly required a stent procedure. It's a surgery that involves a tube that gets placed into the heart, into a congested blood vessel to ensure blood circulation can continue. Basically, it's like, like a wire with a hole through it, and they put it in your heart in the arteries, or, where essentially you have built up cholesterol. This is why your cholesterol levels are so important. It doesn't matter how fat you are or how skinny you are. when your cholesterol is high, you are literally creating fat globules inside of your heart chambers. And these stents go in and they open that up to allow that blood to circulate, because what happens is it constricts and constricts, and then you have a heart attack. I know, because I have a stent in my heart. And I had a heart attack. I was having a heart attack for 3 full days, and I didn't know I was having a heart attack. It was scary. So the thought that, I know when I went in, they had me back in the OR within 2 hours of arriving at the hospital. The doctor knew I was having a heart attack. He immediately took me back and put the stents in. I'm wondering why they're saying there was some sort of delay in doing that. Is that because they didn't want to do surgery on him? Was he awake after he collapsed? So while the procedure in question is not complex, the magazine source said the surgeon was not used to dealing with patients with obesity and was too nervous during the operation, resulting in a delay that left Kim Jong-Un in a vegetative state. Because he knows that the body is the body. And if this man, Kim Jong-Un, who is completely unhealthy, he's been known to be unhealthy, he's been known to not, have a good health record, especially, he's a big guy. I would have been nervous too as the doctor. Gosh. So that's going to be messed up. And I'm afraid that doctor might end up in prison for that. Earlier in the day, Reuters, which is extremely solid, reported that Beijing sent a team of experts to Pyongyang to advise on Kim Jong-un. Now, you want to know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like to me that they probably have him on life support, and as a last-ditch effort, they brought Chinese doctors in to see if there was anything possible that could be done. And I think that's why a team of experts from Beijing went into Pyongyang. Before that, CNN cited U.S. officials as saying Washington was monitoring intelligence that Kim could be in grave danger following a cardiovascular surgery. Okay, now let's get back to Google here, and then we're going to check out Twitter here and see just what the latest is that we can possibly find. And I want to know more about who could possibly take over this country, the sister. Let's see here. Let's go to the news. Okay, so the New York Post, which is, they're not like the New York Times, okay, but they are a pretty important newspaper. And I have to say, I'm not seeing anything on CNN yet. Let me actually check and just see if there's anything on CNN at all. Let me bring that up. Well, okay, CNN, or MSNBC, because they're going to be the last to report it, because they're going to want to be sure. And just on the front page, I'm not seeing anything about Kim Jong-un at all. Give me a second. So I don't know what's going on there. Hold on. All right. So let's see if this here we go. That's what I'm wondering. Could a civil war break out? All right. So essentially, when it comes down to it, and this was made, 2 hours ago, North Korea's, Kim Jong-Un is either dead, brain dead, or just fine, depending on which Asian media report you believe. I can tell you right now, I would not believe anything coming out of South Korea. I also believe that if Kim Jong-Un was okay right now, he would have showed his face by now. There's been too many days and weeks, actually, MSNBC, let me check that. There's been too many weeks that have went by that we've not seen him. And so that is a cause of concern when you are the leader of a country. I'm on MSNBC and I'm looking, and I don't see anything like on the front page, but I'll do a search. But that's okay. That's all right. So the dictator, nicknamed Rocket Man by President Trump for his love of missile launches and nukes, underwent a stent procedure. We discussed this earlier this month. Now, you notice how they blamed the doctor's hands for shaking. They didn't blame the fact that Kim Jong-un has lived his life eating sloppily. And let's talk about Kim Jong-un for a minute. Kim Jong-un grew up, rich. The son of a dictator in North Korea, Kim Jong-il. He actually went to school in the West. He knows English. He loves Western movies. He has had basketball players come and visit him. He seems to want to build a relationship with the West, but at the same time, the North Korean people it's been inbred into their mind to hate America, to hate America, to hate America for a variety of reasons. They're also enemies with South Korea. Although they're the same people, it's the same country that got divided. You know what I'm saying? So a Hong Kong broadcast network claimed today, that he had died, that Kim Jong-un has passed away, citing a very solid source. A Japanese magazine, meanwhile, reported late Friday, last night, that he's in a vegetative state. On Kim's home turf, the North Korean media, they're acting like everything's perfectly normal. And we would expect that, right? They probably don't know what to say. Other unconfirmed reports attributed to senior community party sources in Beijing claim that Kim succumbed when his surgeon botched the minor operation because his hands were shaking so badly. I feel like it's, why are we blaming the surgeon's hands all the way here? Can we not blame the fact that Kim Jong-un put all the food in his mouth that got him to be as unhealthy as he was? Come on, this man was not known for being very healthy. He, was not. You can see by his build, okay? He was known to indulge in a lot of foods and drinks and wines and things like that from the West. Smoked, he smoked cigars. I've heard he smoked cigarettes. So he has not taken great. Now, look, they even call him portly, meaning he's porky, right? He's fat. The portly leader's absence from Saturday's much ballyhooed 88th anniversary. That's what it was. The 88th anniversary of the birth of the Korean People's Revolution Army further fueled the death talk. He goes to it every year. Kim Jong-il went to it every year. It is their celebration as a country, and he did not show. And the last time they had an event that he did not show at, he was down. He had some sort of surgery or something on his ankle. And they attributed that to his obesity and that he had injured his leg really bad. Now, earlier this week, President Trump downplayed reports that Kim Jong-un was ill. We would expect that, right? And an official familiar with U.S. intelligence said that the government had no reason to conclude he was seriously ill. Of course, they're going to say that. But the whispers grew louder when China dispatched medical experts to help treat Kim. And when Reuters reported that to me, like I told you before, tells me that China and North Korea have a working relationship. North Korea gets a lot of their goods from China, and so I can see them dispatching a team of doctors to Kim Jong-un's bedside, and I believe that was done. He asked for the best of the best, or they did, because they're literally at a point where it's really bad, and they want to do everything possible to help him. I mean, come on, there's doctors in North Korea. To dispatch doctors from China tells me it's bad. And, as a leader, I would expect that. As a leader of any country, I would expect to see, something like that happen, where China dispatches medical experts. Now, one Chinese medic told the Japanese magazine that reported he was in a vegetative state that the leader clutched his chest and fell to the ground on a visit to the countryside earlier this month. We talked about that. A doctor accompanying Kim Jong-un had to perform CPR on him and took him to a nearby hospital, and that's where the procedure was performed. So apparently we get even more information. So not only did he pass out and clutch his chest, they performed CPR on his heart, took him to the hospital, then they put the stent in. So my thing is, okay, if they literally had to do CPR on him, is it possible that when by the time he got to the doctor, if they were still performing CPS and they were in the countryside, I'm sure they could get to the hospital fast, but is it possible that maybe he just died and it wasn't the doctor's botching of the surgery? People always want to find someone to blame, and I'm just playing devil's advocate there. Now, if Kim is dead, official verification might only come from North Korea state media. Guys, they can't let him be dead forever and not tell us. They may delay it, they may lag it out, but they can't. The man is not going to be able to be dead forever and they not tell us. I would expect an elaborate ceremony. I would expect, it would probably, I don't know if it'd be televised, but I would expect video would get out. Let's see here. If Kim is dead, official verification might only come from North Korea state media, which delayed the announcements of the deaths of Kim's predecessors, his father and his grandfather, for up to 4 days. So up to 4 days after each of them died, they did not tell the world. When it comes to North Korea, you can never be too sure until you hear the news from the country itself. So for those of you that are like, is he dead? Did he die? Is he in a vegetative state? We know something's really wrong, but until North Korea says something, we are all going to be speculating. But I think that the speculation is pretty fair and pretty heavy, and it's growing, and those whispers have become big, loud screams. And it's unfortunate. Let me look at your comments here. Now, I believe, and I'm pretty sure that he went to school in the United States as a youngster. Kim Jong-un did. Now, there are, let's see here. Let's get back here. I want to get back to something really quick. And, I want to see if there's any additional videos. Or actually, hold that thought. I wanted to go to Twitter. I want to see what Twitter's saying, because Twitter, being a microblogging site, has, you can get some of your email or some of the news so fast. Look at this. #1 trending, Kim Jong-un. Trending with Kim Jong-un dead. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the article TMZ did. And let me put that in the right window here. Take a look at this article. So, hold on. That's not the article I was looking for. Copy, paste. Hold on. All right. Close some of these. All right. Hold on, guys. My apologies. All right. So this is what TMZ has to say. Kim Jong-Un reportedly dead after botched heart surgery. North Korea's supreme leader dictator Kim Jong-Un has reportedly died or is on his deathbed with no hope for recuperation, according to media outlets in China and Japan. Amid reports, China has sent a medical team to their communist neighbors this week to check in and advise on Kim. Now, they said they sent those people Monday. It's Saturday. And that might be why this news is really starting to come out. You know, China isn't as locked down as North Korea is. So any phone call from one of these medical experts home to someone in China, the news gets out. Thus, here we are. Let's see here. Okay, so amid reports, China has sent a medical team to their communist neighbors this week to check in, advise on Kim, a Hong Kong-backed news channel's vice director, who is apparently the niece of a Chinese foreign minister, blasted the news herself. He's dead. So understand what that paragraph just said, okay? A Hong Kong-backed news channel's vice director, basically the director of a huge news, station in Hong Kong, which is ran by the niece of a Chinese foreign minister, blasted out the news and said that Kim Jong-Un is dead. Okay. Media app called Weibo, and they do use that in Asian countries. She did it for her nearly 15 million followers to read, citing a very solid source about the claim Kim had, in fact, perished. A Japanese magazine is reporting, as we've said, he's in a vegetative state after a heart surgery gone wrong. The outlet reports, citing a Chinese medical expert privy to the situation, that Kim had clutched his chest in early April, fell down while visiting the countryside. He needed the stent procedure done, but apparently it either wasn't done rapidly enough, or it was botched completely by the surgeon, with some reports saying he had shaky hands again. I don't know about that. There's a lot of rumors swirling about his condition, and the fact is he hasn't made any major public appearances, looking to be okay in several weeks now. It is April 25th. About a week or so ago, CNN reported that Kim was in grave danger after a medical procedure. It makes sense. They probably have had him on life support. President Trump has downplayed the reports. It feels really weird to say President Trump, but 45 has downplayed the reports and has refused to elaborate. But it looks like Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yo-jong, might be getting set up to possibly replace him as supreme leader. Reports say she was recently re-promoted to a prominent position of power. And this is, let's see here. Here's another point. Saturday marks a major military anniversary in North Korea, where they celebrate the founding of the Korean People's Army in 1932, something they hype annually with a parade. The ones where the tanks are coming by, all of their missiles, one in which Kim might normally make an appearance. International reporters on the ground say if Kim was doing all right and not on death's doorstep, he and his team would figure out a way for him to show up to squash the rumors. And that's what I'm saying. If he is really okay, I'm telling you, he does not like people to think that his health is bad or anything. Like when he had that ankle situation, he made it a point to get out there in front of people to let people know that he's okay. I remember they released some photos, paparazzi-like photos, showing him he had a cane, but they made sure to get those photos out. And I'm telling you right now, if he's not dead and if he's not in a vegetative state, we will see a photo of him within at least 12 to 24 hours, because he's going to want to squash these rumors, especially for his own people. If his own people believe that he's dead, right? So again, international reporters on the ground say if Kim was doing all right and not on death's door, he and his team would figure out a way for him to show up to squash the rumors. If he doesn't, it's probably not a good sign, almost all but confirming that something is wrong. I want to change that Donald Trump had regarding this.
North Korea, what can you tell us about the status of Kim Jong-Un? Well, these are reports that came out, and we don't know. We don't know. I've had a very good relationship with him. I wouldn't, I can only say this: I wish him well, because
it's on CNN now.
If he is in the kind of condition that the reports say, that the news is saying, that would be that's a very serious condition, as you know. But I wish him well. And we've had a good relationship. I've said it many times. If somebody else were in this position, we would have been right now at war with North Korea. And we're not at war, and we're nowhere close to war with North Korea. So I just have to say to Kim Jong-Un, I wish him very, good luck. Good luck. I mean, they came out with very, very serious medical reports. Nobody's confirmed that. It was CNN that came out. So when CNN comes out with a report, I don't place too much credence in it.
Okay, so I'm not seeing it on Kim. I am not seeing it on CNN at all. I just looked again. But I think they're going to want to be so super careful about reporting this. That's just my opinion, and I didn't see anything on MSNBC either. So really quick, let's get back here. I want to go back to YouTube and see if maybe there's any Asian type news reporting going on. Give me a second. Kim Jong-Un dead. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. I want to go to Twitter. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Give me a sec. All right, so let's keep looking and look. We even got a second tweet trending, Kim Jong. I also want to know more about this woman, Kim Yo-jong. I want to know about her. We're going to find out some more about her. Of course, people are using the tag to spam. So annoying. So annoying when they do that. Let's do this. Kim Jong-Un. All right, so let's look at videos. I like to look at the media personally. Of course, people, look at this. See, Twitter's wrong for this. There's a lot of memes, but I'm looking for news. I'm not looking for funny stuff. I'm really looking for some serious news. Let me see if I can get anything, just Kim Jong-un. But it's definitely trending, y'all. Definitely trending. Let's see here. Yeah. Nothing real serious, just like a bunch of jokes and stuff. Give me a second. Because let's just really quick, let's find out who is the sister. I just want to see something that kind of talks about who Kim Yo-jong is. If this is who is going to take over, if she is the contingency plan, I want to know who she is. And I think this is a great, let's watch this from the Washington Post real quick, guys.
Everything in life is a negotiation.
This puts everything in context, as I was saying, about his health just in general.
Probably in 3.
Well, you don't need to be a doctor to be able to see that he's extremely unhealthy. He is like 36 years old, but he seems to walk and breathe and move around like a very old person, much older than his years. So we, of course, we see him on North Korean official television, which is all highly edited and is all part of the propaganda of North Korea. But we got an exclusive glimpse into his health and his real situation when he came out in 2018 for all of these summits, when the footage was broadcast everywhere. And at that time, doctors tried to assess and to glean as much information as they could about his health. So, for example, they counted how many breaths per minute he was doing, and they concluded, yes, that he was either very nervous or he was really struggling to breathe and had lung problems. You know, he's clearly a very heavy smoker. His own wife has joked about how she can't get him to give up smoking. But they also estimated that his weight is about 300 pounds. So as a man who is 5'7", that puts his body mass index at about 45, which is clinically, you know, obese, extremely obese. So he is clearly not in great shape. And I think that obvious observation is what is giving a lot of sustenance to these rumors that have come out of North Korea. So the most important day of the year on the North Korean calendar is April the 15th. They call it the Day of the Sun. And that is the birthday of Kim Il-sung, the glorious founder of North Korea, and Kim Jong-un's grandfather. So this is a day when there's huge parades on the street. They go to the mausoleum to see him lying in state and things. It's an extremely important day, and this year Kim Jong-un was not present. He did not show up for any of these events, and that caused a lot of chatter about where he might be, what might he be doing, is he having health troubles, you know, all of the usual kind of talk about an obvious absence from Kim Jong-un. So the fact that he missed this really important event, and that his younger sister, Kim Yo-jong, has been putting out statements in her own name recently, all add credibility to this idea that he may have had a health incident. We always need to be extremely careful with any rumor that comes out from North Korea, because, you know, it's a black hole. It's impossible, or at least extremely difficult to verify information that comes out from North Korea. And all of the recent rumors about other, you know, purges of people or events that have taken place in North Korea, they've been confirmed by North Korea themselves eventually. That's really the only way to find out for sure what has happened. And so in this kind of situation, we would be looking for some confirmation there. We need to just be very careful and wait to amass evidence and draw a conclusion on that.
Interesting, by the Washington Post.
If your shirt isn't tucked into...
You know, I think that gives a lot of good context. Okay, so I'm seeing y'all's comments. I'm actually turning on the cable now. I'm going to try to get to CNN if I can. Again, some people make some really strange videos. The new leader of North Korea is hot. Wow. Okay. Let's see here. Give me a second, guys, because I do want to validate and see if I can see it on CNN myself. And I think, let's take a look at this. Hold on a second.
What would happen if Kim Jong-un suddenly died? Depends on who assassinated him. Or, to be more exact, who the North Korean government claims to have assassinated him. If Pyongyang blames the assassination on the U.S. or South Korea, it's likely that the country will do everything short of a war. We're talking hacking South Korea, Japanese, and American banks, power plants, military computers, etc., and conducting missiles tests like there's no tomorrow. But I'm not convinced North Korea would go to war over it. North Korea may seem like it's run entirely by Kim Jong-un and his death would be cutting the head off the chicken. But in reality, North Korea has a very large and complex bureaucracy. These people are not stupid enough to sacrifice the country and their power by starting a futile war of aggression against the allies. But rest assured, it will take generations of careful diplomacy to heal the damage done. If the assassination comes from within, However, it would signify some level of factionalism within the regime. And if one faction is bold enough to assassinate the supreme leader himself, then it must be pretty powerful
All right,
already.
I got the
It's highly
situation
possible
with
that there would be
Wolf-Blitzer
civil
on.
war. On how equal in strength the opposing parties are, could tear the country apart. It's hard to tell how the Allies.
I don't know. You know, it's not necessarily like what they're saying is all true. I just, I don't necessarily agree with everything being said there. I think we need to know more. Let me take a look here. Yeah, this is the Foxy. I mean, Fox News is reporting this. Let's take a look at this here. This was today as well.
Watch carefully.
Ooh, that makes me so hungry. And I'm waiting for Wolf-Blitzer to come back off
A lot
commercial.
of people have been wondering this week, how is Kim Jong-un? After reports suggested the North Korean leader had undergone heart surgery and may have been in a serious condition. It's impossible at this point to fully clarify one way or the other.
He was an unhealthy man. He is an unhealthy
give us the opportunity to shed some light on the situation by asking another question. And that is, who is Kim Jong-un? You might recall the hope that surrounded his rise to power in 2011 as a young leader who'd been educated in Europe and might be open to change and more outside engagement. You may also have been disappointed by his reported purge of officials, including his uncle, Jang Song-taek, as part of a power consolidation move in 2013. And then the nuclear threats against the US and South Korea, followed by the smiles as Kim held unprecedented summits with his counterparts from South Korea and the US, Moon Jae-in and Donald Trump, in 2018. Remember also the extreme security and protection of Kim during those summits, as if he were a king, even a semi-deity. And then we are getting close to the care and reverence shown towards him in the North. The challenge of reporting on North Korea's leadership hinges on this understanding. It means we have to accept different rules and different expectations from news coverage concerning Pyongyang. So in the case of this claim about Kim possibly undergoing surgery, it naturally gains attention. He is the focal point of the North's regime, the latest leader in a dynastic line of succession that goes back to his father, Kim Jong-il, and grandfather, national founder Kim Il-sung. While it had been clear who would ascend to what is effectively a throne in Pyongyang when Kim Jong-il took power in 1994 and Kim Jong-un in 2011, there's no obvious succession plan in place today. Kim Jong-un's 3 reported children are all understood to be very young, and while his sister Kim Yo-jong could potentially take charge until one of them is of age, the possibilities of a power vacuum and struggle are endless, and thereby hugely destabilizing for the whole region. Based on what we do know about the Kim family then, how likely is it that we're about to see a change in leader? The current Chairman Kim is just 36 years old, but onlookers have long noted possible health concerns due to his weight and chain-smoking habit. His father and grandfather are known to have suffered from cardiovascular disease, but any sign of frailty was very much guarded by the country's strictly run state media. So even if Kim Jong-un were unwell, they would be cautious about it. We already have a precedent for this back in 2014, when he disappeared from public view for over a month, and the North's media made a modest admission, albeit a rare one, that he was not feeling well when he returned with a limp. This latest swell of rumors started when Kim disappeared again on a hugely important day. For the first time as leader, he skipped the April 15th anniversary of the birth of Kim Il-sung. That doesn't necessarily point to anything very seriously wrong, yet because of who Kim Jong-un, very reclusive circumstances. The truth doesn't always lie in specific details, but in hearsay from anonymous sources, blurred edges, and legends that sometimes become reality.
I want to know a little bit more about the sister. I want to know. So basically, they're saying that if this is true, she would take over and, until his children are of age. So essentially, wow, like this family keeps control of this country. And it's, to me, I'm really grateful to live in a country where there is a freaking election and I don't have to worry about some family having rule over me like that for my entire life. Like, this is insane. What will change if the same people, you know what I'm saying? So I want to know a little bit more about her, and let's just check this out. Hey to everybody in the chat. So she's 30 years old. Wow. Her father was also Kim Jong-il. Okay. And her mother was his mistress. So they're half brother, half sister. Okay. Kim Jong-chul. You know, one of the brothers was murdered. Wow. Okay. That's great. But I want to know more about her. All right. So she already is known to have, you know, she's associated with human rights abuses. She's absolutely, you know, right there with her brother, supporting her brother. And, you know, it's so obvious. This is, let's check this out here, guys.
You can either have this beautiful bouquet.
I just want to know more about her. You know, she's been so silent in the background, and I want to know what potentially we're dealing with here. Is there any advantages that we could have in this situation? What are the disadvantages, right? It's what we need to be looking at. Oh, so she's half Japanese and half Korean. Interesting. Interesting. Did y'all see that name? Did you see that? Like, she is officially the deputy director of the propaganda and agitation department of the Workers' Party of Korea. Wow. That's the communist organization where she makes sure that he's presented as a strong leader. Okay. Get out of the way. Wow. Okay. So everything is so secretive over there.
In North Korea, Kim Jong-un is the single face and leader of the regime. But behind the scenes, his sister is a powerful key player at the decision table.
Word is that he is dead. That is what I'm getting. That's what I'm hearing.
Kim Yo-jong. She went to the same school as her brother in Switzerland, but her first recorded public appearance in North Korea wasn't until 2011 at the funeral of their father Kim Jong-il. Personal details about the leader's closest sibling are shrouded in mystery. We don't even know her age, only that she is in her early 30s.
Wow, man, that's
Yet
so
her
young.
work is some of the most important to the leader of North Korea. For years, she has acted as the right-hand woman of her brother Kim Jong-un and is said to have had a leading role in the propaganda and agitation department, where she worked to make sure the leader was presented in the best possible light. This is why she is sometimes seen lurking closely behind her brother on the international stage, yet rarely at the forefront. But a shift in her public image has seen her take a more central role. She became the first member of the ruling North Korean family to travel to the south in February 2018 for the Olympics. She took a prominent place at the negotiating table for the first North-South Korea summit in more than a decade, and was recently promoted to the ruling Politburo, the country's top decision-making body. She's even issued a scathing political statement about South Korea in her own name this year. North Korea adheres to the highly Confucian rules that would make it difficult for her to govern because she is a woman. Yet it remains to be seen whether those rules would be circumvented in the case of a sudden death. She might have had supporting roles for most of her life, but the North Korean leader's sister should not be overlooked. Kim Yo-jong has climbed the leadership ranks and is now one of the closest advisors to the leader, which would put her in contention to take the reins.
Wow. Okay. So, guys, with all that said, right now, the reality of it is that until North Korea puts out a statement and talks about this, and gives the official word, it's going to be a lot of speculation. But I'll tell you, again, remember who released this information. The daughter of a very high Chinese foreign president or foreign administrator, can't remember the name exactly, but high ranking. And China sent doctors to North Korea for Kim Jong-un. That was about a week ago. I believe they did that as a last-ditch effort. And for her to report that to her 15 million followers on Weibo, as high-ranking as she is, to say that he is dead, North Korea will take forever to release this information. Again, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is being reported dead at the age of 36. He apparently had a massive heart attack. He was out in the countryside. He fell. He clutched his chest, went down, and they proceeded to perform CPR on him. Apparently, he had clogged arteries. Guys, get your cholesterol levels checked. Get them checked, because I'm telling you, bad cholesterol over time will clog your arteries, and one day you'll find yourself having a heart attack. And I can attest, having a stent put in your heart can be done while you're awake. I told you guys I had one put in mine 2 years ago, this July, and they went through my wrist. They went through the artery in my wrist. I was awake. They gave me, some sort of amnesia, but I was fully awake, remember everything. So, all these stories about this being a botched heart surgery, maybe if it was like a bypass, but, said that the doctor's hands were shaking. Well, his hands may be shaking, but once that wire gets up in that artery, his hands shaking ain't going to make a difference. I think they want to blame the doctor for not saving, the supreme leader's life. Listen, the guy was out of shape, completely out of shape. And you can't blame the doctor if the doctor couldn't save him. I mean, come on. He's been, he's a heavy smoker as well. He knew the risks he put his body through. But that is the style of North Korea, one of the most, if not the most isolated countries in the world. So I just wanted to come live and talk about that. I will be back live again in about an hour and 15 minutes at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. If somebody else goes live that's, important, I probably will delay the live, but I will be talking about an incident that occurred with Jason from the YouTube Justice Department. And that's something that I want to discuss. It's regarding the beef sector of YouTube. It would not have anything to do with politics. Again, I know my channel, is mostly geared towards crimes and justice, things like this. But I do want to address some things regarding an incident that occurred really, really early this morning. And I will be doing that tonight at 9. It's a late night, chop it up, anything goes. I'll have a couple drinks of wine before the live. So things might get a little bit crazy, but I'm going to let you guys go. I will continue to stay up to speed with this particular news piece, and peace and blessings to all of you. Take care.